Of course, it's not about xenophobia. It's never ever been about xenophobia. I think if you're good enough to play, you should play. And the same goes to those Jamaican born players there. I think if irrespective of whether you're a Jamaican born player playing in the in Jamaica in the domestic league, or if you're playing overseas, regardless of whichever league you're playing in, I think if you are good enough to play.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
All right.
Check, yeah.
Yeah, everything good?
Yeah, man.
I want to ask you this important question, right?
Yeah.
As a Red Devil, I know you know where I'm going with this one. Who do you predict will have the better season, you or the club that you support, and what's your reasoning?
Why not the both of them?
You're sure about that?
Both of we can trust me, man.
Who to buy from the transfer window? You sure?
Yeah, who you support? Arsenal?
Then no must.
Well, London is ready in Manchester United.
But like that. What's your Premier League prediction? Where do you think you'll finish? Fifth. That's a humble. Okay, so back in Europe.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I wish you the very best. Before you go though, I want to know your parish of birth because I feel like we're from the same parish, but I don't want to get too excited.
Paul Bogle.
Paul Bogle. Okay, St. Thomas. All right, so you have to pick up the people then from St. Thomas before you leave.
Everybody from Cedar Valley, man, and Content, Newcastle, the whole of St. Thomas.
It's a good way to round off the weekend, isn't it? Lifting some trophies there for the U15s, the underage boys team for the Reggae Boyz, that is, and also, like I said, the JWPL. So looking at how the weekend came to a conclusion of the young boys there getting their hands on some silverware, a trophy in the bag there for the Concacaf U15s championship. And this one here says, congratulations to our U15 Reggae Boyz and the entire coaching staff on a fantastic and well-fought victory. And this one, they managed to secure some silverware there in Aruba. And you can take a look at their journey to lifting the trophy there. Defeated Belize 2-0. Also put 4 past Aruba, cheeky 1-0 over Curacao. And they gave our friendly Caribbean rivals there, Trinidad and Tobago, a thumping 6-2 victory. Gave them a thumping 6-2 defeat, I should say. And also concluded the all-important victory there against Puerto Rico, beating them 2-0. And that was all before they went ahead and lifted the trophy. I can see them there. Trophy with the 15 in the middle. That is the Concacaf U15 championship, firmly in their back pocket. And that meant that the young princes there, the young Reggae Boyz U15, that is crowned champions of Concacaf League B. For context, to avoid any confusion, let's go for a couple of these the photos there again. Trophy lifting time for the U15s boys. And this one here is quite obviously the coaching staff. So I think because it is about the team, big ups to the coaching staff, take nothing away from your victory. Also lovely to see a lady involved as well, Premier League. So in case you missed that one, Fraser's Whips, again, to reiterate, sealed their 3rd straight Women's Premier League crown. And they did so in some applaudable fashion, beating their rivals Cavalier 4-1. If you manage to have watched that game in person, do let me know in the comment section. The atmosphere looked like they were quite up for it. Looked like there was a vibey atmosphere there, looking on from a distance. A bracer piece there from Destiny Powell as well as Captain Davia Richards. And in terms of Cavalier, their consolation goal scored by Tamara O'Sullivan. So do let me know again if you managed to watch that game there in the finals. The 3rd place was 3rd place playoff came down to Arnett Gardens beating Los Perfectos 3-1. So again, if you manage to catch up on either of those games, do let me know. Look like a decent turnout to me. Long may it continue. Let's go ahead and give credit where credit's due, and let's focus on the positives as it relates to both of these teams there respectively. So in terms of the positives there, I can see some clear positives there across the board. A few of those positives there, no particular order. You can look at in terms of the results and the performance there from the U15s boys team, and also the JWPL, so the Jamaica Women's Premier League. Foundation of talent. I think you can see that there's some foundation of talent there. I think the victories apiece suggest that there's a strong foundation of talent emerging. You know, winning both in the domestic league level as it relates to the JWPL and the regional competition where the U15 team is concerned, to me indicates that Jamaica has players with the raw skill and talent, and also potential to compete at various levels. So again, domestically and also regionally. And also in terms of the positives there, evident positives, in my opinion, I think you can see a promising pipeline. Now, the promising pipeline, I think, more centers towards the JWPL. I think the success in the JWPL in particular points to the league serving its purpose as a crucial pipeline for developing future stars. And if you've been keeping your eyes on the league domestically, the league being played on home soil, again, the JWPL, then you'll be able to pinpoint a couple of those rough diamonds there, a couple of those players there that you can kind of identify and say, you've got the X factor, you should have a flourishing career. Now, but just because the league itself is showing us that it is capable of giving us a promising pipeline, does that suggest to me that they are capable of fully developing the stars of the future? No. And that's not to be disrespectful for the league. I think football is different to other sports in Jamaica. It's not like your athletics where you can stay on home soil and be coached by local coaches and, you know, leave Jamaica when it comes to competitions and excel and go on to be, you know, world beaters, you know, top of your career by being a legend in your respective sports and so on, as we've seen with a couple of our legends in track and field. I think in football it's different, isn't it? It's not about trying to be bashful, it's not about trying to show anyone up. I think it's quite clear that the same application can't be applied in football, be it in the men's program or in the women's program. For you to reach a different level of development, unfortunately, unlike athletics, I think you do have to go overseas to do that. And we have seen it evidently, not just where the men's program is concerned, you know, from the years of the Bibi, you know, Gardner, obviously, to your Khadija Banishaw and a couple of her current teammates. It's there that for you to reach the next level, unfortunately, same stories being told decades later that you have to go overseas. And that's not to be bashful on either the men's Premier League or the women's Premier League. It's not something that is unique to Jamaica alone. Like this it's not really it's an issue, yes, but it's not all doom and gloom. It's just the way that it is. Unfortunately, will things change in the future? I would love for things to change. I would love for our footballers to be able to play football in Jamaica, and for the team, for the league itself to be competitive enough so that they don't have to go overseas. And you know, you can only imagine that what that could do to football business in Jamaica, domestically, that is. But that's probably way into the distant future for now. So we just can only focus on the positives and what it could potentially lead to. So as I said, a couple positives there. Be interesting to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section as it relates to both of those teams there. There's a foundation for talent. You can see the promising pipeline there again as it relates to the JWPL. Now, when we look at that particular league, again, before I forget my manners, before it slips my memory, first off, a huge congratulations, not just to the JWPL winners, but for every single player involved across the competition, playing for your respective clubs. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And I'm not sure about you guys, but I am extremely delighted for all of those players, whether you're a winner, whether you came the runner up or whatever it may be. I'm completely whatever it is, I'm completely delighted for all of them. As someone who's watching from a distance, obviously watching overseas, not sure about you guys in the comment section, but even for someone that's watching from a distance, you can still see, unless I'm jumping the gun, and do correct me in the comment section, but you can still see those rough diamonds in the mix. But and when you're identifying those rough diamonds, or I should say having identified those rough diamonds, it does make me wonder what's next for them. Because I've always felt, again, my opinion is probably different to you guys there in the league, but I've always felt that the league, even before its recent improvements, and hats off to all parties involved in helping to revamp the league. I think visibly it's got a bit of a sex appeal now. It looks better than before. So hats off to all parties involved. But as an outsider looking on from a distance, they say that when you watch football in the stadiums or in the stands and you compare it to watching football in the comfort of your own home, it's two different experiences. And yeah, you are right. But I think even if I was in the stands, even if I were in the stands watching the JWPL week in, week out, I think you can still say with to great honesty that when you look at those rough diamonds there, and those players there with the undeniable talent, that unfortunately is looking a little bit too easy for them. And I'm not sure if that's just, I don't think it's fair to just say that it's because of the quality of the league. I think quality of the league is a factor, but you also have to look at the fact that these are some pretty damn good, talented players, and as I said, it's a little bit too easy for those players there with the rawness, the undeniable talent. But still, it does make me hopeful that soon we'll see them follow the trajectory or the pathway like our current stars. So that be it our captain Khadija Bunishaw, or even our babyface assassin Jodie Brown. But above all, when I'm taking a few of this into consideration, what really, one thing that really matters to me in all of this, as it relates to the JWPL and the Reggae Girls program, more so the senior Reggae Girls program, what matters to me is that the heart of the Reggae Girls program stays true. Because it does have its own, well, I'm not sure if it still does, but it was of my opinion that it has its own uniqueness, its own beauty, right? But I think those uniqueness and the beauty that I am referencing, I think is, for me, it does appear to be somewhat of a concern. I can't really tell if it's a major concern or a mild concern, but I kind of feel like some of that beauty and its authenticity might be lost. And that's probably just my opinion, nothing factual. Do let me know in the comment section what you guys make of what I'm saying, be it now while you're watching me live, or maybe when you're watching it back on replay. And of course, it's not about xenophobia. It's never ever been about xenophobia. I think if you're good enough to play, you should play. And the same goes to those Jamaican-born players there. I think if, irrespective of whether you're a Jamaican-born player playing in the in Jamaica in the domestic league, or if you're playing overseas, regardless of whichever league you're playing in, I think if you are good enough to play, you should most certainly be given the license to do so. Okay, so see you on the next live stream. You know how this one goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.